Today for supper I'm going to be making homemade pizza. So I thought I would share with you my pizza dough recipe. So on my mixer here I have my dough hook. And I believe this recipe came from my sister. I can't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure she's the one that gave me this recipe. It's a very, very simple recipe. It's basically flour, oil, water, salt, pepper, and yeast. And the yeast that I use is Red Star. I buy it in bulk and I keep it in the freezer. So the first thing you need to do is you need to mix the yeast and the water and the oil in the bowl. And you want the water to be warm, just like straight from the tap. And I'm going to be doubling my recipe because I've got teenagers to feed. So doubled, I need 2.5 cups of warm water. So this is just water from the tap. And then to that, you need to add 1/2 cup of oil. And you can use any kind of oil you want, but I'm going to be using olive oil. Half a cup of oil. And then to this, you're going to add the yeast. For this doubled recipe, if you were using the little yeast in the packets, you would use 2 of those. And so I'm going to be putting 6 teaspoons of my bulk yeast. So I'm just going to kind of mix these together just to get the yeast all wet. So then you just let this yeast sit in the bowl with the water for just a few minutes till it starts to proof, which means when it starts to get bubbly. So when it's all bubbly, I'll bring you back for the next step. The yeast is proofed for about 5 minutes and it's getting foamy, so we need to add the rest of the ingredients. I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper. You don't have to add the pepper, but we like it. And we're going to add the flour, and it calls for 10 cups of flour, but I don't really measure it. I just go by what the dough looks like. Like with any yeast dough, it just depends. And then once I get the flour going, then I'll add the salt. I don't want to add the salt directly to the yeast because it can cause the yeast to die. Alright, so now I'm going to just finish off the dough on the counter and knead it by hand just for a little bit, just to get it together and to make sure it's the right consistency. You don't want the dough to be too stiff because then you'll have a tough pizza dough. So you just knead it till it comes together. Just like that. And I'm going to add just a little bit of oil to this bowl. And I'm going to put the dough back in and cover it and put it in a warm place and let it rise till it's about double, which takes about a half hour, 45 minutes. When the dough is ready to form into pizzas, I'll bring you back and we'll assemble a pizza together. Okay, so you can see that it's nice and doubled in size, and I'm going to make 3 pizzas out of this. So I'm going to go ahead and just dump this out on the counter. And kind of just deflate it a bit. And so I'm going to cut this into thirds. I'm going to make one supreme pizza, one sausage and cheese, and then one just with no cheese for me. I'll just show you how to, I'm going to make the supreme, and then I don't need to show you how to do all the pizzas. So I don't use a rolling pin for this dough. It's nice, pepper. It's nice and soft and malleable, so I can just form it right in to the pan with my fingers. Okay, and then I like to use Ragu pizza sauce. So I'm just going to put about a third of the jar on this pizza. So this supreme one will be basically for Scott, and Olivia, she likes the vegetable ones too. The sausage one and cheese will be just for Travis, and Olivia, she can have some of it as well, but Travis has a major objection to vegetables. So I'm just going to put on some peppers, yellow, orange, and red. And I don't have any mushrooms, but if I had mushrooms, I'd put mushrooms on because Scott likes mushrooms. And I've got some red onion. And I got some fried up sausage. And then we'll put on some mozzarella. So I've got my oven preheating at 400 degrees. And then you just bake this pizza for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes, or until the crust is golden brown and the cheese is all melted. When I have all the other pizzas done and they're out of the oven, I'll bring you back and I will show you finished product. Okay, so here they are out of the oven. This is the supreme, and this is the sausage and cheese, and my cheeseless is still in the oven. So when it comes out, I'll show you what that one looks like. Okay, so this is my pizza. It's just like the supreme, only with no cheese on it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. And we will talk to you later. Bye, friends.